Welcome, everybody. Thank you for attending our Art and Abstraction 2025 Virtual Award Ceremony. My name is Erica Krieger. I'm on the Maryland Federation of Arts Board of Directors. With us today, we have Julie Burzon, Tesia Blackburn, and Patrice Drago. Yep, that's me. I'm the creative director for Octave Vortex Media and a board member of MFA. And Julie is a gallery assistant, and Patrice is our executive director, and Tesia is our juror today. MFA is a visual nonprofit organization that hosts more than 40 exhibitions every year. Our mission is to make connections in the local and online communities through art with exhibits and events in the Circle Gallery in Annapolis, Maryland, online, and in numerous alternative venues. We provide artists of all genres, media, and backgrounds with the opportunity to exhibit work selected by professionally credentialed jurors and to be recognized with monetary awards. Artists do not have to be members to enter our exhibitions, but members have several advantages: lesser entry fees, access to networking, and additional exhibition opportunities. If you are interested in learning more about becoming a member, please visit our membership page on our website at mdfedart.com/membership. There are a plethora of fascinating things in our world that artists can recreate representationally in their visual voices. However, there are also several ways to express these compelling things through abstraction. By utilizing concepts we are familiar with, such as form, color, composition, and so much more, artists can evoke a range of ideas and emotions as abstract art. MFA, the Maryland Federation of Art, invites all artists to enter an exhibition that welcomes 2D and 3D abstract work. Selected works will be displayed in this MFA-organized exhibition at Maryland's Hall, Earl and Martino Galleries in Annapolis, Maryland from July 8th to August 14th. Tesia Blackburn is an artist, analog and digital author, and teacher. Tesia was born in Shreveport, Louisiana, and attended elementary school in Texas, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, and Oregon. She went on to attend high school in New Mexico before moving to San Francisco. With over 30 years of experience as a working artist, Tesia has a diverse and successful career. In 2002, Next Monet Incorporated signed her to produce prints for several of her paintings. In 2000, she was hired by Golden Artist Colors as the Golden Working Artist in San Francisco. In 2014, her first book, Acrylic Painting with Passion, was published by Northlight Books. Her work is collected both locally and internationally, with patrons as far away as Tokyo. In 2018, her next two books were published and are available on Amazon and through other booksellers. Tesia received her BFA from the Academy of Art in San Francisco, studied lithography at the San Francisco Art Institute, and earned a Master of Arts degree from John F. Kennedy University in Orinda, California.
Thank you very much to the Maryland Federation of Arts for asking me to jury this show. It's really an honor. There was so much good work. It was very difficult to narrow it down to just a few for these awards. I am so sorry I'm unable to attend the opening, but I'm here in California and it would be quite a hike. That being said, at some point, I would love to get to Annapolis and see my good pal, Patrice, and my new pal, Armani, and Julie, and oh my goodness, your name went right out of my head. I'm so sorry.
Erica.
Gosh, how embarrassing is that? Well, anyway, a little bit about me. You guys know my bio there, but I did want to say I'm an abstract painter for many, many years, and I would consider myself a formalist. And by that, I mean, I'm interested in the formal properties of creating art. I look at line, shape, mark, color, texture, composition when I'm creating work. And I also look at those things when I'm jurying work. And that's a major part of the way that I jury work. That being said, I also take into account that indefinable something that happens when an artwork really speaks to me. Sometimes I think it's the overall formal properties coming together in such a way that they create magic. And sometimes I think it's something that we can't name that creates that magic. but I know it when I see it, as we all do. These properties all go into the way I jury or curate a show and the way that I create my own work. So let's look at the slides.
Hi, Tesia, would it throw you off if I say a few words before you?
Go right ahead.
I would like to say that I'm the one that invited Tesia because I have known her for, I think it's 15 years now, and we are good friends. And the reason that I invited her is because all of these things that you just heard, you see her bio and you know the thoughtfulness behind what she does and the learning and the training behind it. She's exceptional. And some of the things that I've noticed about Tesia over the years is that she is able to find the talent in anybody and bring it out in their own voice. And I think that is magical. And I know that I have learned so much. She's also been my mentor, and I've learned so much. My work has grown tremendously because of the guidance of Tesia Blackburn. I have to say, the acrylic diva. Definitely the acrylic diva. So I was delighted when she was able to jury this show for us because I knew it would be exceptional, and it is. So I just had to say that. So now I'll turn it back to you.
Well, thank you so much. I know you may not be able to see it, but I'm blushing over here. and I didn't pay Patrice to do that. I didn't pay for that for that plug. So let's look at this first piece by Jim McGillin. This had all the formal lines, all the formal things going for it, in my opinion. It had those crisp lines. It had the interplay between the thick lines and the thin lines, the circles that were both colorful and dark, those 5 circles in the lower right that are dark, that offset these bright, colorful circles. There was a lot of thought put into this. It intrigued me. And then that surprising twist at the bottom, 2025, nope. I was so intrigued by that. And I brought my own ideas to that. And I don't know what his ideas were, but I brought my own ideas to that. And that's what the best artwork does. It communicates with the viewer. It intrigues you. And so that was what intrigued me about this piece. And that's why I thought it deserved an award. So I was an oil painter for many, many, many years ago. And that's one of the things that intrigued me about this piece by Richard Niewerth. I had to look twice at the description that it was oil on canvas, because the layering of the colors, the handling of the paint, and everything was so beautiful and so well done that I thought, wow, I was really impressed by that. The idea that these colors were laid down next to each other, the glowing purples on the side of these buildings, it takes a pretty hefty amount of skill to do that. In addition, this overhead view of Central Park was really unusual and delightful. And I looked at that and I thought, yeah, that's some good stuff. So definitely deserved an honorable mention.
And all of these paintings, if you can see them in person and come to the exhibit, that would be great. But especially paintings that are portrait orientation, you can't see them as well on the screen. So go to our website and then click on it so you can see it larger, because I totally understand what Tesia's saying. You do have to look twice.
Yeah. Well, and that was the great thing. I should mention this too. That was the great thing about the way that you all had the jurying process set up for me. I have some big computer monitors, and I was able to see these images at full screen and really come in and take a look at them and magnify and stuff. And that is so helpful as a juror for me to be able to see something clearly and large, on a 40-inch screen. So that really helped. So that was good.
And
So
I don't know, Is Richard on the call? And I know, and I think Jim might be on the call. So if it's all right, if they have questions for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I'm here for.
Jim McGillin here. And thanks for your lovely comments on my piece. And yes, the note has special meaning to a lot of people in this age. So,
yeah, well done. Very well done.
Thank you.
This piece really hit a lot of formal marks for me. I was so excited to see this composition, this negative space. And I tell my students all the time, it takes a lot of courage to leave a lot of negative space on a canvas or a page or paper. Now, I know there's stuff going on. I know there's activity going on in there, but the dramatic aspect of this big negative space versus the space that's activated really did it for me. It really, really did it for me. And then all the intricacy of the way that she's playing with line on top of these big shapes of these sort of amorphous shapes of watercolor. So that interplay between the delicacy of that line, the dots, the way she moves us around the canvas or the page with these dots, and then also the difference in scale that she's using with the small dots, really tiny ones, bit larger, some line. I just thought, this is really someone who has thought about this concept of contrast, scale, and negative space. And negative space, I'm all about the negative space. I love negative space. So yeah, I was really, really pleased with this piece. It really spoke to me.
Hi, thank you so much. It's helpful to hear your comments.
It's a wonderful piece. Wonderful piece.
Thank you.
And I have a question for you. Did you use white watercolor, or did you use a paint pen, or what did you use to make the marks, the smaller marks?
Ink.
Ink. Perfect. Perfect. It's beautiful. Well done.
Thank you.
And I love the fact that, because I looked at this on a big screen and I really kind of dove in, and I love the fact that you really have an opacity to those white marks. That really makes it work, because then they really sit on top. So well done.
Yeah, I actually discovered that by mistake once when I was trying to save a painting. I just thought, what can I do with this thing? And I just went at it with ink. And I don't know, a lot of people like those dots for some reason.
Right.
I put them in most things now.
Yeah, they work very well. They work really well.
Thank you.
Well done. Very nice piece. So I'm a big fan of Robert and Sonia Delaunay from the early 20th century. Color, shape, form, all of that. And this piece by Jacob Goldsmith looks like it could have been influenced by them. The bold colors, the sort of flat areas of color, and the circles, of course. I'm a big fan of circles. You can see I'm a big fan of circles. But the other thing that I thought was really intriguing about this piece, I know it's a mixed media piece, and I'm gathering that it is either paper or wood. I'm not quite sure of how the circles are created, but I love the fact that they cast a shadow. I just love that cast shadow. And so it adds an extra dimension, because it's going to rely on where it's hung and how the light is shown on it and so on and so forth. So I just thought that is a really nice added dimension to it. And of course, circles are one of my favorite shapes. So I think it works beautifully.
So, he is a recent addition to our board of directors.
Oh, really? Okay. Great. Great. All right. Lovely. So I looked at this piece for a very long time. And I wasn't sure if it was something in motion, if it was a stop motion that had been done several times, if, I couldn't tell. And that was exactly what intrigued me about it. Because I couldn't quite tell exactly what was going on. And that's fine for me. I think that's one of the best things about a piece of art is it's open-ended. You know, I think it's our job as artists to communicate with the viewer, but not to tell them something. I think it's our job to ask them questions or to have them ask the art questions, you know, this dialogue. So I don't think necessarily having hard and fast answers is great. So I looked at this for a long time, and that was one of the things that really brought me into it, was this idea like, what exactly is going on here? What exactly is happening? And also, then I always, when I'm looking at something, I'm first intrigued by it, and I want to know what's going on. And then I also, for me, I always fall back to the formal principles. How does it work? How is the composition? What has the color? And so the things that are working for me here, first of all, one of my favorite things is repetition and rhythm and repetition. And so the rhythm and repetition that is set up in this piece is really, it's almost musical, you know. And then the gradation of colors, that dark bar at the bottom just kind of pulls the weight to the bottom. And then you've got these kind of soaring triangular shapes that are a lot lighter. And so all of these things were kind of playing around and very intriguing to me. And then, of course, it didn't hurt that it was named Newton's Pendulum, because I'm kind of a science nerd. And I loved the idea that then I got to thinking about, well, now, is it a pendulum? How did he photograph that? It was really intriguing to me and set up just the best conversation for me. Like, what's going on here? So I was really excited to give this a juror's choice. I was really pleased with this piece, and I thought it showed exceptional merit. I really did. So is John on the call with us?
I'm here.
Hey, there you are.
Yeah, thank you for all those nice comments. I'm not sure I should reveal how I made this.
It's okay. No, don't tell me. Let it be a mystery. Let it be a mystery.
But you're right about the. I'm not a big fan of titles at all. But the title does say something about what this is and how I made it. But there wasn't much post-processing involved with it. It's really what it is. And
Wow.
the hint is that it's a longish exposure, not very long, maybe 1 or 2 seconds, I forget right now. But yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful piece. And what I know about photography is right here. This is it. Point and click. That's all I know about photography. I managed to get through 7 years of art school without taking a single photography class. I'm very proud of myself. So I'm always in awe of excellent photography when I see it. And I know it because no matter what the process is, the image stands on its own. And good photography is good photography. That's all there is to it, So
it used to be, I'll just say one thing. It used to be that photography somehow represented reality in some way, because we thought it was the world coming into the camera. Now that's not so true anymore with all of the AI and post-processing you can do. But this was real.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I love about it. And it's a wonderful medium too. The ability to transform things or to have things just the way they are. So yeah, well done. It's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful piece. So this piece blew me away. I love color. I think about it all the time. I'm kind of a color nerd. I like mixing all kinds of colors. And when I saw this piece, the first thing that hit me was that it's a monochrome piece. It's one color. It's one color, but it has all of these variations in color. And so that was my first initial reaction. And then I started looking at it and I couldn't quite tell what it was. And that was fine. But that's part of the thing for me when I'm looking at something and I'm intrigued. And it's not that just second glance and I know what's going on. This right here, I had to really think about that. Is this a bird? Is this fabric of some sort? Is this some other object? What is this? And then, of course, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter because it engaged me and it hit those formal marks for me. It hit color big time, really big time. And then it hit contrast. And what's interesting about that is the contrast between that shape, that kind of question mark shape that's textured, and then the softness of the background color that's next to it. That contrast right there is subtle. It's not really sharp. It's a subtle contrast, but it was enough for me to kind of go, I wonder what that is. What is this? And this dark color that's underneath, it's almost black, but it's not black. It's just this very dark, deep color. I'm going to call it orange. It's not orange, but that's as close as I can get. And so looking at it, I was like, look at the range of colors that this person is getting in this image. So what the final thing I want to say about this is the composition again. And, you know, back in the day, composition 101, they always told us you never put anything in the lower right corner because it'll send people off the page, right? That was the thing, right? And that's composition 101. That's for beginning artists. But when an advanced artist has the ability to take something like this and that composition and pull us down off the canvas, literally off the image, pull us down, but then pull us back in with all of those sweeping arcs that go back up to the upper left, that's pretty exceptional composition right there. So it hit all the marks for me. It drew me in, it kept me engaged, it made me ask questions. It had contrast, it had composition, it had color, amazing color. And so I thought that's why Best in Show. It really hit all the marks for me. So I know Carl's not here, but I want to thank him for giving us this beautiful piece. It's really gorgeous.
So for those of you on the call, does anybody have any questions about anything Tesia just talked about or anything about the exhibit? Please feel free to ask your questions.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk to you all.
So this is Julie, not one of the artists, but can you hear me?
Yes.
I missed possibly in the connectivity issue, but did anyone come out and say with the last piece, oh my gosh, it's a flamingo?
Nobody did, but I thought that might be a
It's a
possibility.
flamingo. That's all.
Is that in fact what it is?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you
Okay.
look at it, there's the wing on the left there, and then that swirl that made the little funnel. The neck is coming down and then back around, and yeah, it's a flamingo.
That's even more amazing.
Is.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you get a flamingo to pose?
Yeah.
They like to sleep like.
I thought it was a combination of things. I thought it was, it
And
did look
I
like a
froze it,
flamingo's
so
neck,
I'm trying
but
to
it's
hit
not
you.
necessarily like a flamingo's body. So I thought, well, there's a combination of something going on here.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it was very intriguing to me. And the thing that did it for me mostly was the color. Because, I actually give this assignment to students: paint with one color, just paint with one color. And it's easier said than done.
It is.
To get contrast and to get, interest and stuff with one color. But of course it can be done. But yeah, I really love to see that kind of work where it's pushing color, pushing it. Less is more.
Please feel free.
Me, Joanne, I had a question. It's just, I'm wondering, I'm always curious how painters or artists begin a work. And so I was just wondering, Tesia, how do you start a piece of abstract art generally?
Yeah. Oh, usually I work in series. So I'll work on 3 or 4 pieces at a time, and they usually talk to each other. So, for instance, actually in this series right here, with the one with the big circle, there are probably 10 of those at least. And I usually take one motif from a piece and start another canvas with it. And because I'm lazy, I don't want to have to reinvent the wheel, and the fact working in series is huge, I think, because you take a motif or a design element from one piece and you start another canvas with it, and it sort of jump starts the work. It really does. Mm-hmm. And then especially, I always advise people to work in a series, because then they get this synergy and they start to work with each other, And then the other thing I tell people when they're struggling to, get work done and stuff is narrow down your focus. So if you're going to start a series, decide at the outset, and Patrice does this and she does it very well. Decide at the outset, this series is going to be about blue. It's going to be about blue. There might be a little bit of yellow here and there, or there may be a little bit of something else here and there, but primarily this is going to be a blue painting. So a lot of things go out the door. You don't have to worry about big red circles if you're painting a blue painting, So in that respect, I think narrowing your focus, narrow down the colors you use, less is more, use fewer tubes of paint. I can't stress that enough. That's huge. And also, by using fewer tubes of paint, you broaden your ability to mix color. So that is very important, I think, because it's just too easy to reach for another tube of paint instead of mixing something. And it really grows your color muscles when you really narrow it down. And then the other thing is narrow down your focus. Like, what is it you're trying to say? Give one word to that painting or that photography or whatever it is. Give one word to it. Describe it in one word, what you're trying to do. So is it going to be scary? Is it going to be happy? Is it going to be moody? Is it going to be neutral? These words all have design ideas that go with them. And so if you are deciding that this piece is going to be moody, then chances are it's not going to have a lot of bright color. The colors will be more neutral. The shapes will be softer, that kind of thing. And so I'm always asking my students, what's the word? What is the word that describes this painting? And that really helps you narrow it down, because let's face it, we have a lot of toys to play with. I mean, we got a lot of good stuff and we could do anything and then be all over the place, And I'm thinking about Patrice's work. I mean, really, really has a focus. It feels like the water. It feels like the ocean. There are boats in some of them. There's a lot of blue, but there's cohesiveness to it, you know? And I think that's really important.
Thank you. Well, I do have a question, and not to preclude anybody else. So if you still have questions, please feel free. The exhibit on display is just so amazing. And I don't know if you knew this, and I think we may have told you, we have a combined exhibition of art and abstraction, which is mostly on the wall. And then we have off the wall. So we have the pieces that stand alone on pedestals or stand alone on the floor. So we have a combination exhibit, and of course it all looks so beautiful together. When you were jurying the show, did you look at each piece individually at its own merit, or were you at one point thinking any kind of theme, or what were you thinking?
So I do two things. I actually, the first time I go through, I look at everything, and the pieces that are going to be in the show usually float right up to the top. I can usually tell. And then I come back, and I usually do at least 3 rounds, sometimes 4 rounds. And then I come back and I start to look at the pieces from the point of view of a show. So are there too many watercolors? Are there too many photography pieces? Are there, do we need more landscape oriented pieces? Do we need more portrait oriented? That kind of thing. Because I've hung a lot of shows too. And so I know, when you get into a gallery and you're like, oh man, we've got 25 landscape oriented paintings. We need some portrait stuff, Right. So I look at it first, the whole thing. I look at everything, and then the ones that hit me, and then I try to look at them as a group and how they'll hold together as a show.
Well, you did a fantastic job.
Oh, thank you.
Really did. And our installation team is also they're magic, and so they create a work of art out of it. The pieces that you chose, every single one of them, and the way it's hung, you just want to stop and look at every single one of them. And it's like there's not one that overpowers anything. It was also thoughtfully done, and thank you. Really great.
Yeah, I had good art to work with. That I do have to say. The level of the entries was really high, was good. And it was a tough job. It was a tough job narrowing it down. It really was.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yes, I was telling everybody at the reception the other night that just getting into the show meant that this is a really quality piece of work. So
absolutely. Yeah, the competition was tough.
Well, I will tell you, while we're waiting for anybody else to think of questions, that Tesia does a lot of online classes. I would highly recommend you look into them. And you can talk a little bit more about those if you'd like to, Tesia, because I think that one of the things that we like to do for our members is give them resources.
Oh, yeah.
And you are, to me, an incredible resource for
Thank you.
Number of things that you do. Some of the classes, the online classes, are just, oh my gosh, I just want to go there because she's going to put on music and it's going to be serene and we're going to do this little painting. And then you have other classes too. But I can tell everybody that taking a class from Tesia, you will come away from something that you won't forget. There's just no question about that.
Well, thank you so much. I, when the pandemic happened, we all had to kind of pivot. And for 2 years, there was no option to teach in-person classes. But I had been teaching online since 2014.
Right.
So I've got 10 years of online teaching. And what I'm in the process of doing right now, this is brand new and nobody has heard about this yet. So this is, I'm going to announce it today. It's not ready to be opened, but it's going to be open soon. I'm building an entire school online. And so it is going to be awesome. I'm so excited. It's going to be available probably September 1st. And it's you can actually go to the website now, but the content isn't all there yet. It's at atelier.acrylicdiva.com. And it's going to have a lot of resources. It'll have live classes with me. It will have recorded classes as well. It'll have art history nuggets. It will have all kinds of good stuff. A resource of what's called the Vault, which is a resource vault where I will be putting my 40 years of stuff from my brain to the vault. I don't know, that's kind of scary, but all the stuff that I've been doing over these last few decades, and all the teaching I've been doing, and all the wonderful, wonderful people that I've come across, like Patrice. We'll be inviting you on stage, Patrice.
Okay, I'm there.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll have some really fun artist chats and things like that. But there will be a lot of training too, and a lot of videos, a lot of live training, and lots of resources and a community. The thing that's really exciting to me about this is it's a community of artists, and it doesn't live inside any social media platform. It's private. And so there's no algorithm, there's no ads, there's no nothing. It's just us.
Nice.
That's really exciting to me. So I'll send you, when it's ready to launch, I'll send you some information. You can put it out to your members. I would love that. I would love that.
That sounds like something that I think our membership, and our membership is growing. And, a lot of the people in the show, some of the people in this show, for example, are not members, but they become members because of the resources that we offer. And that sounds like a terrific resource. So
Oh yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Just so everybody knows, the exhibit is on display until August 14th in Maryland Hall. And those of you that are not local can still you can see the exhibit online. It's on our website, and all the exhibitions are on our website. All the work is there. Even when the exhibit is over and it's closed, it gets moved to, on the exhibitions page, it's moved to the bottom, and then in the next year, it's in the archives. So
Nice.
these exhibitions live for a long time, and this particular
Wonderful.
video will live on YouTube forever.
Yay!
It's nice. It's really nice to, the work is featured. So if you're one of the winning artists, you get to come back. You can refer to this, you can like it, and you can hear what Tesia has to say about the work and the exhibit, which we love. So
I loved putting the show together.
thank you. Thank you for doing it. It's been our pleasure to have it.
And thank you for everyone for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.